My brothers and sisters, you are now watching The Gamer 2323, so just forget about the chores you're supposed to do. Put your feet up, get your Kool-Aid, fried chicken, popcorn, get whatever you may need. And I hope you enjoy the video.
Hey, yo, Gamer, what's up, my African-American brother? I just charged this thing like an hour ago. How the heck is the battery life low? What the? Oh, what's up, my brother? All right, my brother, here's the deal. I like my PlayStation 4. I like it. I mean, I do not regret buying this console by no means necessary, but I mean, my brother, I just didn't know it was going to be this dry. Oh, trust me, I know. I mean, so what would you recommend to a brother? Right now I got Killzone, Shadowfall, and I got Knack. Last time I played Killzone, 1 minute I'm playing it, the next minute I'm waking up. So, I mean, is there any game right now on the PlayStation 4 that can, actually offer a fun time while playing the game? Nah, son, real talk, you should get that infamous Second Son, bro. I'm telling you, that's a good game. You should get it. Does it have a multiplayer? No. This Negro said no multiplayer. What I look like buying a game $60 out of my pockets if it ain't got no multiplayer? What am I supposed to do once I beat the game? What, play it again? Ain't nobody got time for that Negro. Bye. This fool said no multiplayer. So, a few weeks back, me and a couple of my PSN friends were online having a discussion, and somehow the topic came up that it was, should single player only games no longer cost $60? And I was interested into listening to what these bastards had to say, because I knew some people would not be for it, and there were some people that was not for it, but there were some people that were for it. But the people that was not for that, if a game just has single player, it shouldn't cost $60. You know, there was like, listen, gamer, me being a real brother, okay, right now, like man to man right now, I know you are a single player enthusiast. But if the game don't got no multiplayer, I'm sorry, I just don't think it's worth it. What am I supposed to do after I beat the game once, maximum maybe 3 times? What am I going to do if it doesn't have a multiplayer? A multiplayer is needed. It's necessary right now. And there were, the exceptions, like games like Grand Theft Auto or Skyrim, the games that, you can do a lot of and still have like a game that doesn't have, online, but it's still like tons of things to do. There were, the exceptions, but for the most part, they wasn't happening. Like, I'm sorry, if a game doesn't have a multiplayer, it shouldn't cost $60. And, to be fair, no shocker here, games aren't exactly cheap. Being a gamer takes sacrifice, okay? Being a gamer, like, you have to, especially when the gaming season comes around, to where games are coming out literally almost every week, okay? And it's even worse if you don't have your own money and you have to go to your parents and been there, done that. Okay, being a gamer, okay, it takes sacrifice, and being a gamer is not cheap these days, okay? Gone are the days where games used to cost like, what, $40, okay? Now, it's $60 a pop, and even when it goes back to being 40, you end up with games like Ground Zero. So, being a gamer is not cheap, to be fair, so that's why I think a lot of people that are so for multiplayer, they're like that because games are expensive, these days, and they want their full money's worth when they buy a game. They want to be satisfied after playing that game. So I understood where they were coming from. But then again, me being the last of a dying breed when it comes to gamers, like back in the day, we could play games like going back to the N64 or PlayStation 1 or PS2 or Sega, whatever, freaking Dreamcast, whatever, even though the Dreamcast did have some online capabilities. But the point is that back in the day, why were we able to play games that didn't have online you know, and just play it over and over and over and over and over and over and over again and still have fun playing the game. It seems like the mindset with a lot of gamers today is that once they beat the story, there's nothing left to do and they feel like they have to move on. Like, what happened to, even when you beat a story, if it was a real good story and the gameplay was good, you would play it over and over and over again. It seems like that is like dying. And now once you beat the story, there has to be an online, you know, an online multiplayer. And I'm like, you know, multiplayer, it is important. It's important to have a multiplayer in your game, but I don't see it as a necessity. You know, single player, I still, me personally, I still think the core of games is a good story. You know, if your game doesn't really have a story and it's just really for, you know, the online games like Battlefield or Call of Duty, you know, it's just, it's different. I mean, it's a different time in, you know, games, you know, because now the online is so popular. But if a game has an amazing story, okay, and it has no online, I think it's the experience you get while playing that game that justifies if it should cost $60 or not. Now, if a game has a great story, but yet the story is like, you know, 3 to 4 hours and it has no online, then no, it shouldn't be $60. But if a game has a great story and, you know, it's the right amount of, you know, length for, you know, the story, and but it has no online, I see that's fine, you know. But a lot of people don't, because it seems like they need a multiplayer, because once they beat it, you know, a lot of people just don't want to play through it, no more. So I wanted to ask you guys this question because I was really interested in this topic. Should single player only games no longer cost $60, you know? Because again, games are expensive, you know. I think that's why a lot of, you know, gamers today, they are so heavily relying on these game reviews. That's why when like a game gets like a 8 or a 9, especially a 8, it's like, what? Only an 8? Like, like, it seems like if a game gets an 8, it's no longer good, you know. But I think the reason why a lot of gamers rely so heavily on these game reviews is because games are expensive and people want to be satisfied after they play a game. So I mean, I see where both sides are, you know, are coming from. But for me personally, again, I consider myself like the last of a dying breed when it comes to being a gamer. Like, I can play a game over and over and over again if it's just the story, as long as it's good and the gameplay is good, you know. But you guys leave your thoughts or comments. Should single player only games no longer cost $60? Okay. Hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll catch you on my next one. All right. Peace out.